Right there, scary moments. 8 people shot in Orange Mound. This video shows hundreds of people running for their lives as a barrage of gunfire echoes around them. This morning, we have team coverage of this breaking news story Fox 13 brought to you last night. The latest mass shooting in Memphis. Here's what we know right now. Memphis police changed the number of victims to 8. Originally, they said 16, but they changed it overnight. 2 of those people died. We do not have the ages of all the victims. As of right now, police have not made any arrests. Police say the gunfire started during a block party at Orange Mound Park. Viewer video shows people gathered around a basketball court watching a car doing donuts when gunfire breaks out. You can see people run for cover and literally dive in the dirt trying to save themselves. You can hear their footsteps as they try to find cover. This morning, police are searching for the people responsible, and they are asking the public to help them find the shooters. Fox 13's Dominic Dillon starts our team coverage with the latest on this mass shooting from Memphis police.
We're told up to 300 people were out here. We didn't get exact ages on the people that were out here, but up to 300 people. That is a lot of people. This is a very active crime scene behind me. If you take a look, you can see that investigators are on the scene, walking around with their flashlights, gathering evidence. Videos circulating online. I heard at least 100 gunshots. So as you can imagine, investigators, they're searching to find as many shell casings as possible. But we just heard from Interim Police Chief C.J. Davis.
This was a block party in the Orange Mound Park that was occurring, as far as we know, without a permit. There were approximately 200 to 300 people in attendance at this event. In light of recent events, we stand together to denounce these senseless acts of violence in our community.
And at this point in time, there are no suspects, but Chief Davis says at least 2 people were firing their weapons, and they're calling on people in the community who may have video to upload that footage to their Crime Stoppers website. Also, if you have any information that you believe may lead to an arrest, call Crime Stoppers at 901-528-CASH.
This morning, we are getting another angle of this shooting. Many of you posted videos on social media showing the moments before and after this shooting. And in that video, you can see right there a lot of people put in danger: women, children, elderly. You can see just how scary things got at this block party. You can even hear the many gunshots fired at the park. At one point, you can see a gun on the ground. Now take a look at this picture. This is moments before the gunfire. If you take a close look, you can see in this picture multiple guns in the air. This is a still picture from the video we just played for you right there. At least 5 guns in the air. Now, we had multiple crews on this scene last night covering this mass shooting. Fox 13's Lakia Scott talked to people who live in the neighborhood about what happened.
Yeah, police responded to several reports of gunshots fired in the area and people shot. And right now we are at Carnes and Mound near Grand. We're actually right in front of Orange Mound Park. That is the location where it is said that a block party was happening in the area when gunfire broke out. Now, we've seen videos circulating online on social media that shows a huge crowd in that area earlier on Saturday. You can also see people in the crowd who hold up guns in the air, and then you start to hear loud pops. You hear the shooting and the gunfire. Several rounds go off amid that crowd. Now, right now, we're seeing crowds who are moving around in the area. They are actually trying to figure out what may have happened to their loved ones. They're trying to identify their loved ones and find out if their loved ones were actually victims. I also spoke with someone here on the scene who told me that she and the rest of the community are tired and they're just fed up with this type of crime happening here.
And this right now, time is over for playing. It's really over. You know, you got to either hold these parents accountable for where are your kids. Earlier I seen on Facebook these children jumping all around with these guns. Where were the police? Who had this event here? You know, why wasn't the children secured? You know, who allowed it? What city, where the city, where's the paperwork, where's the insurance bonds, where's everything? When this happened, then we need to see everything.
And again, active scene here at Mound and Carnes near Orange Mound Park. The park is right now closed off and blocked off. Multiple streets and intersections are blocked off by police, so people are not able to travel in this direction due to this investigation that is happening. There are multiple crime scene vans and detectives on scene as well. And we're learning that there were at least 2 fatalities from that shooting. And police right now, they're asking anyone who has any information to call them at 901-528-CASH. Reporting in Orange Mound, Lakia Scott, Fox 13 News.
Again this morning, we are covering breaking news. Memphis police released a new number of victims shot during this mass shooting in Orange Mound. That number is 8, with 2 people killed. Here's another look at the information we know right now. The shooting happened just before 7:20 last night on Corns Avenue. You can hear in multiple Facebook videos the large amount of gunshots fired. Memphis police say this happened at a block party where between 200 and 300 people gathered. Right now, Memphis police have identified 2 potential shooters. Again, no arrests have been made.
Come on, man. I'm finna hit. It's over with. Oh, shots fired in downtown Memphis.
We're beginning with breaking news tonight at 10. You can hear those rounds of gunshots as 8 people were shot in downtown Memphis overnight. This video captured by Blackwood News shows those scary moments as they unfold early this morning. And this wasn't the only incident keeping officers busy in the entertainment district. Good evening. Thanks for being with us. I'm Shay Arthur. Let's get right to WRG's Jordan James, who is live downtown tonight. And Jordan, I understand you spoke with the man who actually captured that video and witnessed that chaos unfold. What's he telling you tonight?
Hey Shay, that man, like so many others, is counting their blessings when you consider the chaos which unfolded behind me and hours later leading to an increased presence from law enforcement.
Gunshots erupted in the heart of Memphis Sunday morning.
Shots fired in downtown Memphis. Shots fired.
Dozens of rounds were fired into a crowd, leaving 8 people between the age of 19 to 54 wounded.
It was just, man, just seconds away, just minutes away. I could have easily been down there right there.
Lofton William was not on the ground during the shooting. He was on top of a nearby parking garage, documenting Memphis's nightlife for his media company, Blackwood News.
Everything was going good. Everybody was just vibing, playing. They had the music playing, then all of a sudden, all you hear was about good 20, 25 shots ringing off.
Hours prior to the shooting, video shows a group of people gathering, drag racing, and driving recklessly. At some point during the unsanctioned event, a Memphis police officer was assaulted and suffered minor injuries. William witnessed the aftermath.
It was out of control, from the fights, the slideshows, the police trying their best. They really couldn't do nothing. These folks out of control with these cars, so it was over with.
This shooting comes as downtown crime is under a microscope following several incidents ranging from auto thefts to shootings, leaving many to question their safety.
My heart is broken. So much happened. We can't go outside for violence. People, if they're not killing people, they are taking their cars. You can't go to the store.
As for this latest shooting, all of the victims are expected to be okay, and police are still searching for who's responsible. And I can't tell you at this time, police have not released a motive for the shooting, nor have they set a suspect description in this case. If you know anything, you're encouraged to call Crime Stoppers at numbers 901-528-CASH. For now, reporting here live tonight downtown, Jordan James, WREG, News Channel 3.
We begin the broadcast tonight with box after box taken from a FedEx truck that tried to get through a local intersection. It happened around 8:30 last night in South Memphis. Good evening. Thanks for staying up with us tonight. I'm Daniel Wilkerson. Fox 13's Lakia Scott joins us live from South Memphis tonight. Lakia, the driver didn't make it through before dozens of packages were stolen from the truck. Good evening to you.
Good evening, Daniel. And we don't have an exact count on how many packages and boxes were stolen, but we do know that when those thieves jumped onto the back of that truck, they did not hold back. I'm standing here at this intersection. This is Mallory and Riverport Road. You can see those skid marks in the middle of the road. This is where that truck driver was at. Now, the video shows the FedEx truck stuck here at Riverport and West Mallory. The driver told police that several men broke the sealed latch on the truck. They got in and started taking boxes and packages away. You can also see that the driver is blocked in by several cars that blocked off the road. Now, as the driver finally pushes through the traffic, thieves run after the truck, jumping on to grab more. Now, I spoke with someone who says she drives this route regularly and fears that things could have been worse.
My thing is, somebody's going to end up getting killed. And as citizens that are paying taxes, we should have some more security, better security for the people who are paying property taxes and who want to live safely and quietly.
And now we did reach out to FedEx about this recent incident. Now, the company said in part that the safety of its staff members is top priority. So are those packages and the security of the packages for the customers. Now, the company says that they are grateful that there weren't any serious injuries and that they're also fully cooperating with police. Daniel.
Lakia, before you leave us, I tell you that video shows quite a scene. Did FedEx put a value on the amount of items, the dollar amount of items that was stolen?
You know what? We're still working to find that out. I did ask them that question, but they weren't able to give me an exact number just yet. But when you look at that video, you see that those thieves, they got away with quite a bit.
Lakia Scott starting our live coverage off at 9 tonight. We'll see you at 10.
Of all the car burglaries we've seen lately, this one's definitely different. It's strange. Thieves used one car and pushed another new car out of a parking lot. But a Covington Pike business owner tells us the most frustrating part of this, the long delay getting police to show up after the burglary. Fox 13's Sierra Jordan takes a look at the real impact of crime.
A business owner here in Raleigh says his dealership has been broken into multiple times. But when he calls the police, no one responds until more than an hour later.
Everybody's fed up. Everybody's sick of how the police is responding to it.
A general manager and business owner shared his frustrations over a string of burglaries Fox 13 has documented here on Covington Pike. For the first time in almost 2 years, smash and grab thieves stole 2 vehicles from Cars Inc.
It took them about 5 hours to steal those 2 cars.
And they stole the Cadillac in the most unusual way, using one car to push the stolen car out of the lot. The manager says they do not leave keys on the property and all cars are unlocked. After that, the general manager says they found the stolen car about 9 miles up the road at the intersection of Yale and Covington.
And then they came back about 45 minutes later, and since they didn't see any police or anybody here, they came back and took another car and did the same thing again.
The crooks went on social media and posted a video of them doing donuts in a parking lot with the stolen car. The general manager is so frustrated, he says his team has been putting themselves on the line to protect their property. He says he found the names and addresses of the men responsible, but when he gave his information to MPD, he says they didn't even look into the suspects.
Police don't care. They know that the judges is going to release them as soon as they get caught. They know that they're going to get away with whatever they possibly do.
Now, the Cars Inc. owner says he'll be taking extra steps to push for change from the Memphis Police Department. He and other business owners here in Covington Pike will be putting together a protest. In Raleigh, Sierra Jordan, Fox 13 News.
Tonight, Fox 13 investigates the sky-high rate of car thefts in our city.
Mind you, the problem exploded last year when viral videos showed teenagers easy ways to steal a car. Memphis police say that most of the car thieves that they arrest are between 16 and 18. Fox 13's Dominic Dillon investigates why stealing cars is so appealing to these teenagers and what can be done to stop it.
I interviewed two teens who are working to redeem themselves. They admit they committed crimes in the past, mainly stealing cars. Now they're sharing how they started down that path and what it took to turn things around.
He was like, my car was gone. I'm like, gone? What you mean gone? He said, stolen.
Fire in the hole.
We can get another car. Keep the car, bring us the dress.
So inconvenient for us. I mean, of course, in addition to all the financial loss, it's a mess. You're just making a mess of someone else's life.
It's hurtful when you work hard and you going to work and you come out, your car is missing, it's gone.
For years, we have offered people in our community a platform to voice their frustrations about being victimized by car thieves. But we have never heard from anyone behind the theft until now. When you and your brother were out stealing cars, did you ever think about how your actions may be affecting others?
At the time, really, I was just thinking in my mind that it was actually funny.
The juvenile you just heard from is 13 years old, but he and his 15-year-old brother first started stealing cars 2 years ago when they were just 11 and 13 years old. And they learned how to steal cars using a keypad or flathead by watching videos on social media, like the viral ones Fox 13 has reported on before. We're concealing their identities because of their ages.
I say it's some people that's younger than me out there doing it. Somebody about 8, 9 out there doing it.
Children as young as 8 years old behind some of the more than 13,000 vehicles stolen across Memphis this year. The vehicles of choice, Kias, Hyundais, and Nissans. Those are the top picks for these teens as well.
We'll at least, you know what I'm saying, slide up in it for a little bit. Because that's what we like.
These teens swiping vehicles from parking garages downtown regularly. They say their mother had no idea until their first arrest.
My mom, she really couldn't go to sleep at night because, like, she was afraid that we might sneak out the house or something or go steal a car.
Some criminals steal cars and sell them on the internet to make a quick buck. Others search for valuables and guns. But not these kids. They're just after a thrill.
In Memphis, to be honest, there ain't really nowhere safe to go. Everywhere you go, it's always somebody getting shot, robbing, like stuff like that, beat up, all that. So really, we don't sell no gun. We need those.
These young teens say they have to carry guns for protection on the streets of Memphis.
Kids out there really dying from these stealing cars. My cousin, he got put in a wheelchair for stealing the car. My friend got shot in the hand. We got shot at for stealing the car.
Their behavior landed them behind bars 3 times each, the last time for 5 months. They say they have now completely turned their lives around and are on parole.
It took us some time to get it, but on our last time when we were just locked up, we got out, like, we see that it don't only affect the people that we stole it from, it affect our family. It hurt them too.
They're still making amends for the problems they've caused. Conditions of their parole include wearing an ankle monitor, completing several hours of community service. They have early curfews and receive multiple visits weekly from youth villages. As someone who's lived that life, what advice do you have for kids and teens who are still going down the wrong road?
When they go down their path, like, it ain't no turning back. Like, we just got lucky. But like, kids out there really dying from these stealing cars.
The resources are out there for teens going down the wrong path, and these kids say their mother got them the guidance they needed, but it was not enough until their mom moved them across town and they decided to turn their lives around. Now, the programs they're a part of, they're actually working. Parents, for a list of resources, head to our website, fox13memphis.com. Dominique Dillon, Fox 13 News.
A woman is brutally beaten outside of a Memphis nightclub. A club employee says that she was kicked out for a reason. Hear what the victim says in a story that you will only see on Fox 13.
I wasn't even at work 2 full hours before my car got stolen.
Her first day on the job and the last time she saw her car. Hear her scary and her story, I should say, and where it all went down. A Fox 13 exclusive.
Warming up today with temperatures that are in the middle 80s right now. Temperatures go even higher tomorrow. We'll talk about when they break 90 degrees and how high heat indices go in your weather forecast at 5:30.
Fox 13 is live and local at 5:30. Punched, kicked, stomped on by a group of people outside of a nightclub in Memphis over the weekend. And now the woman at the bottom of that melee is talking tonight, calling for the people involved to be prosecuted.
Fox 13's Dominique Dillon is joining us live from the Edge District tonight. Dominique, not only did you speak with the victim, but one of the people seen in that video assaulting that woman.
Yeah, he says he was just helping out at the club, doing odd jobs when all of this unfolded. And he says the video only shows a fraction of what led up to that moment. The woman in the video who you see being attacked, she says she has filed a police report. A Saturday night of great music, dancing, and even better drinks at 616 Club in the Edge District quickly took a turn for the worse for Centricia Davis.
And you could have killed me out there. People was telling me I thought you was dead.
Video shows two women pummel Davis with punches while she uses her hands to protect her head. The person recording pushes one of the women off of Davis, but then a man wearing a tactical vest joins in and begins stomping on Davis.
I don't walk around spitting on people. I teach my daughter every day, have respect for people.
Dion Lawson says she was kicked out the club, and the reason he is seen on video stomping on her outside.
After the spitting and the charging and the racial slurs and all the name calling, all of the cuss words, I defended myself.
Lawson says as a bouncer, he helps out wherever he is needed, cleaning up, checking IDs, and keeping order.
I was just covering it for that night. I don't work there.
He says he does not know why the two other women fought her.
There were people out there that saw her spit on me not once but twice and also charged towards me.
Davis denies these claims. She says Lawson's story is a cover for their true motive, $1,200 cash.
And I was by myself and I had all that money on me and y'all took it. That was the reason to say that's why y'all jumped me like that.
Y'all don't jump us!
Davis says she went to the hospital and was told she had several fractured ribs, 2 black eyes, other bumps and bruises. Now Lawson, he says he's filed a police report against Davis as well. Darcy?
That is Fox 13's Dominique Dillon reporting live tonight from the Edge District. Thank you so much, Dominique.
Morning. Video of a flash mob, a couple of them, swarming some convenience stores in Memphis, dozens of people.
Yeah, a lot of people have been talking about this. The first one is off Airways off Winchester Saturday night around 10:30. The business owner telling police between 30 and 40 people came into his business. They started grabbing whatever they could. Somebody was running out of there with those Doritos and Lay's potato chips like they had rare diamonds. Business owner says they took more than $2,000 worth of stuff.
And about an hour later, it happened again at a store on 3rd Street off East Brooks. Memphis police says that it was a similar situation. They say the owner said about 30 people came in and started destroying the business Look, he's dragging out that whole display thing. He says one man pointed a rifle at him. At that store, the owner says they caused more than $9,000 in damage, but they stole about 15 grand worth of merchandise. And you see them carrying the guns, so how are you going to stop them?
Yeah, and somebody was telling me they saw one of these videos over the weekend, and they said they saw a guy who was sort of like a coordinator, had like an iPad sort of directing the traffic, time's up, time to go to the next location, things like that. So big concern for law enforcement is that this is now becoming organized. Crime.
And I wonder if they tell, you get this, you get this. I saw everything from beer to snacks to antifreeze.
Yeah.
Coolant.
Somebody
they
had
took
some
jugs out.
motor oil in one of them. Like, what? You doing an oil change? What's going on? Crazy, though.
Or is counting its losses after thieves ransacked the store overnight. It was all captured on camera. WRG's Quamitra Wilborn has that video that shows how the burglars pulled off the heist at Buster's Liquor.
It was a long morning for employees at Buster's Liquor Store in East Memphis. Broken bottles and empty boxes cover the floor, and the smell of alcohol extends to the parking lot. Memphis police say the store was once again burglarized overnight.
You can see them drive off and like the police cars drive up.
Take a look at this surveillance video. An employee says the incident happened around 1:30 a.m. You see several cars file into the parking lot from South Highland. A black pickup truck sits in front of the window and backs into the building. Around a dozen people hop out of the vehicles and ransack the store, leaving behind substantial damage. MPD says the suspects were heavily armed.
Surveillance videos shows the suspects going through the aisles, grabbing alcohol off the shelves, putting it in the baskets, and then taking it out to the various vehicles in the parking lot. They went exactly to the tequila sections that they wanted. They went to the Jack Daniels, they went to the Crown Royal, they went to the Moet. They knew what they were looking for.
Buster's is one of the many liquor stores to be targeted in a string of liquor store thefts across Shelby County. Last year, we reported that thieves stole more than $10,000 worth of alcohol from the liquor store. Memphis police say the stolen liquor was advertised on Facebook and sold out of a South Memphis apartment.
I think it's the same people. Maybe they have different crews that are running with them.
The office manager says she believes this time around, the cost to repair the damage will outweigh the cost to replace the alcohol they lost.
The damage is worse than what happened before because there's some structural damage. The last time it was just mostly glass breakage and maybe one shelf.
Reporting in East Memphis, Quamitra Wilborn, WREG News Channel 3.
Enough to drive a business owner crazy. Now, so far, no arrests have been made, but if you know anything about what happened, you're asked to give Crime Stoppers a call. That number, 901-528. Cash.
Actions are being monitored and recorded live by a live operator. I have to make them out of your vehicle. Southwest. Police are on the way.
Met their match. It seems we're hearing about business burglaries almost every week. One Memphis liquor store owner is just so fed up that he took some extra steps to keep his business safe. WREG's April Thompson shows you the video that proves it can work.
Around 2 a.m. Monday morning outside Southwind Liquor, it's clear these burglars were intent on getting in. Store owner Boo Weeks says an outside video camera caught it all.
In the video, you can see him going down and pushing, trying to find a weak spot.
The would-be burglars in masks and hoodies didn't seem to know the glass they were trying to break with a sledgehammer isn't glass at all. It's plexiglass. Weeks installed it after his last break-in back in September. It was the 9th at one of his 2 stores.
I think we're probably leading the city in break-ins here, or attempted, with 9. So we had to do something because they were stealing anywhere from $12,000 to $20,000 a time every time they would come in.
The plexiglass didn't stop the burglars from trying, even when a bullhorn outside commands the would-be thieves to leave. They try again, realize it's no use, and eventually take off with nothing. Daniel Sources with Accent Glass installed the plexiglass and says it's really hard to break.
It's a clear polycarbonate sheet material. It's similar to acrylic plexiglass, but it has some properties to it that won't let it shatter when impacted with, said in this case, a hammer. It's actually fairly unbreakable.
And he says more businesses are turning to this.
There is demand for it. I get probably 2 to 3 calls a week for it nowadays.
Overnight, 3 different liquor stores were targeted. Over the last few years, some liquor stores have been hit several times. Police reports say the thieves are in similar vehicles, seemingly 18 to 20 years old, and wearing face and head coverings. But they can't say if all the crimes are by the same people. Weeks says police have been responsive and patrol the area. And this business owner says there is something that can be done to stop these break-ins.
Don't let them back out. When they do get caught, they let them back out, and they're back doing this 2 days later. They're kids. They're the same kids that are doing it over and over again.
And he's taking a new approach to stop them.
Absolutely. It slows them down. It's one other deterrent.
April Thompson, WREG News Channel 3.
I already told this. Because I don't want nobody to go through this, losing nobody or somebody taking a life. I never did that. I never had that.
A Memphis woman turned on her television to see her daughter was wanted in connection with a murder. So what does that mother do? She took her daughter to the police station to turn her in. And tonight, 26-year-old Kenyatta Hayes is facing first-degree murder.
Memphis police say that she shot and killed a man over $60. Fox 13's Daniel Wilkerson spoke with Hayes' mother today. Daniel joins us live tonight. Daniel, after the mom brought her daughter, the daughter confessed?
Well, that's the million-dollar question. Police is saying yes, she confessed. And as you said, Daryl and Darcy, police are saying she did this over $60.
Police say this video shows 26-year-old Kenyatta Hayes just moments after she promised a sexual act to a man for $60, but then robbed and killed him. But her mother, Shantae Jones, feels otherwise.
You don't think she did this?
No, I don't.
Why is that?
Because the guy that she was with, I believe she was scared of him.
Jones asked Fox 13 to blur her face out of fear she may be targeted. Investigators say Hayes met the man at this Marathon gas station in a 3000 block of Lamar. Hayes told police the man asked her for oral sex in exchange for money. An arrest warrant says Hayes never planned on having any type of sex with the man, but told police she was going to rob the man. Police say after leaving the gas station, Hayes and the man went here to Cherokee Park where he thought she would perform the act. That's where investigators say Hayes shot the man, took $60 and ran off. Video captured her leaving. Jones says she saw the video on the news, called MPD homicide, telling officers she was on the way to them with her daughter.
Because I don't condone violence. I don't. If you do something, you pay for it.
Once at MPD, officers say Hayes told them she committed the crime because she was, quote, thirsty for money. When asked what she did with the $60, Hayes told officers she bought her and her boyfriend 2 combo meals and she had $13 left. Though Jones doesn't believe her daughter pulled the trigger, she says still there is a lesson here for young people.
You need to think about your actions. You need to think about what you're doing before you do something. They need to be a leader, not a follower. And watch who they hang around with. Yes, sir.
Yeah, back out here live. That's good advice coming from that mother tonight. The mother tells me no matter how it went down, who did what, she says she doesn't want people to lose sight of the fact that a life was lost here. She has a message for the victim's family. I'm working on that part of the story for Fox 13 News at 10. Darcy.
Well, Daniel, you said that the mother said she saw her daughter on TV news and then took her daughter down to the police precinct. Did the mother ever ask her daughter whether she in fact shot and killed the man? Because in the story, the mother says she doesn't think that her daughter would do that. But did she ask her daughter, did she do it?
You know what, Darcy, that was a question I had for the mother. After all, they had to probably have discussed things at the home, and then she drove her all the way down to the police station. The mother says to me that the daughter didn't say anything at all. She did not indicate either way. Darcy.
That is Fox 13's Daniel Wilkerson reporting live tonight. Thank you so much, Daniel. A former police officer, a kidnapping in the back of a police car, and a murder over a love triangle. Fox 13's investigative reporter Kayla Solomon was the only TV reporter in the courtroom when a judge ordered that former Memphis police officer to stay behind bars.
Yeah, Assistant U.S. Attorney David Pritchard said death is still a possible penalty in this case. A magistrate judge previously decided to take Patrick Ferguson into custody for the federal charges, although the state released him on bond last year. Ferguson's attorneys appealed that decision and were in court today to tell a judge why.
Patrick Ferguson is accused of kidnapping Robert Howard in January of 2021. Investigators say Ferguson, who was on duty and in uniform at the time, then shot and killed Howard in the back of his Memphis police patrol car before dumping his body. Attorneys for Ferguson told the judge Ferguson had been out on bond in his state murder case for a year with an ankle monitor and has shown up to every court date. They said despite the seriousness of the allegations, it was an isolated incident, so Ferguson is not a danger to the public. The prosecutor said the evidence, including video of Ferguson shooting Howard, speaks for itself. He also said there were extensive Google searches from Ferguson's phone in the days before the murder about different murder methods and also how to dispose of a body. He said Ferguson also admitted to the crimes.
Now, no trial date has been set in Ferguson's federal case, and his state case remains in limbo, tied up in Criminal Courts Division 9, former Judge Melissa Boyd's courtroom. That case has a hearing set for next week, when it will likely be moved to another division. Fox 13 Investigates also confirm state regulators decertified Ferguson as a law enforcement officer in the state of Tennessee. That happened back in August of 2023. Darcy.
That is Fox 13's Kayla Solomon reporting tonight.
It's just been released showing the moments 3 people were shot at a gas station. Tonight, Memphis police are looking for 3 suspects they say may be responsible for this shooting.
Fox 13's Lakia Scott joins us live from the Ridgeway Police Precinct. Lakia, you learned more about the suspects, so what else can you tell us?
Yeah, Darcy Daniel, new tonight. Police have released video of that shooting. They've also released photos of those suspects. It shows those gunmen in the video. Let's take a look at that surveillance footage. Now, in it, you can see one suspect walk up next to a pickup truck. If you look closely at his hands, he is carrying a gun in each hand. Now, once he gets up close to a pole, you can see him open fire. At one point, it appears one of the magazines from one of the guns falls to the ground. Then moments later, a second suspect walks up and began firing shots. Now, after firing shots, that suspect then picks up what the first suspect dropped. Both suspects were wearing black hoodies, covering their faces. Now, this all happened at the Marathon gas station on Winchester Road just before 1 o'clock this afternoon. Memphis police say the suspects got away in a new model gray Nissan Altima with tinted windows. Now, police say the 3 gunmen confronted the 3 victims who were outside the store at the time. That's when the suspects opened fire on them. Now, I spoke with people who live in an apartment complex located right across the street from that gas station about what happened near their homes.
It's not shocking because, for one reason, they just let them loiter around at the store too often anyway. So it doesn't surprise me. Something's bound to happen, period. Just because all the loitering that's allowed to be tolerated anyway.
Anywhere you go in Memphis, there's gonna be something go on.
How do you feel about that?
Hey, welcome to Memphis.
Now, I'm learning tonight that 2 of those victims are listed in critical condition. One of them is in non-critical condition. Police say the 3 suspects, they got away going northbound on Boxdale Street. Again, they got away in a gray Nissan Altima, a newer model Nissan. Anyone who has information on those suspects or who was in that gray Nissan Altima with tinted windows, they're asking you to call Crime Stoppers at 901-528-CASH. Daniel, Darcy.
That is Fox 13's Lakia Scott reporting live tonight. Thank you so much, Lakia.
I kind of hate to be the person to walk around with a gun on this waist everywhere I go. I really don't feel like that'll be helping anything. But at this time, I'm willing to do anything that I feel like can help protect me and mine.
That's Purvis Quinn. He says he's lived in the same home in the Speedway Terrace National Historic District of Memphis for decades. But what happened to him and his wife last week has them exploring their options now. That's because they were caught in the middle of a shootout. His wife was hit several times, in fact.
Fox 13's Daniel Wilkerson joins us live tonight outside of the Tillman station. Daniel, this happened in an area of Midtown, in fact, not far from Crosstown Concourse.
Daryl and Darcy, good evening to you. Good evening to you at home. Yes, and theoretically, this could happen to any of us. A couple out walking their dog one evening when they're caught in the middle of a gun battle.
We're learning more about the tense moments that preceded this scene, which we first brought you as breaking news last Thursday night at 10.
The car shot by us after we heard the gunshots.
Purvis Quinn says he and his wife were walking their dog JoJo when it happened.
She immediately was ready to go home, so we started walking back toward the house.
At that point, he says they saw guys running toward them with pistols.
And they just started shooting toward us.
Quinn says one of the men shot his wife.
I'm trying to chase her down. She took out the running. I'm trying to chase her down. The dog was barking, going crazy. I mean, it was total chaos.
Quinn says the crime happened right in front of this church. He lives right down the way. He says he has lived in this home since birth. He hates to leave, but he says at this point, he's considering it.
At this point in time, I'm about ready to go and pick up, sell, and just start all over again.
Quinn says now in his 50s, he really doesn't want to start over. He believes the neighborhood now attracts crime because of the broken window theory. That theory says people are more likely to commit crimes in areas that have become run down.
This neighborhood it had a family in every house. As you can look around now, you know, some of the houses are condemned and dead, and I mean, it used to be a wonderful neighborhood to live in and raise a family in. As the drugs moved in, crime went up, and everything just started going downhill from there.
And he adds this.
She's against having guns in the home. But I'm at the point now where I want to buy a gun just to protect us. I really feel strongly that if I'd have had me a weapon that night, it wouldn't have been as tragic for her as it was.
Just driving through that neighborhood, you could see what Quinn is talking about. There are the abandoned houses. Back out here live, police have not caught anyone associated with this. If you know of anything, you can remain anonymous. There may be a reward available. The number to call is Crime Stoppers 901-528-CASH. DG.
Daniel Wilkerson live at Tillman Station. Daniel, thank you.
I love my child so much and fought for my child while she's here in the flesh, and I will continue to fight for her in spirit. I will not give up until I get justice for her.
It's a Mid-South mother taking action tonight to find the person or people responsible for her daughter's murder. Thank you for being with us tonight at 9. I'm Daryl Green. Darcy Thomas is off this evening. 22-year-old Charlisa Reed was gunned down in downtown Memphis back in August. 10 months later, still no charges in this case. Let's go to Fox 13's Jack Bilyeu. He's live at MPD headquarters. Jack, that young woman's mother is now partnering with Crime Stoppers, offering a $10,000 reward in this case.
Yeah, Daryl, and Crime Stoppers says Reed's mother put up $6,000 of her own money to help find the people responsible. She says that she needs answers, and that seems a small price to pay to put her daughter's killer behind bars.
Excruciating, painful, hurtful. A lot of anger because I have no answers.
That's Anita Wilkins describing what the 10 months since her daughter was killed have been like. Wilkins says her daughter went out downtown, and when she didn't respond to her calls or texts, she followed her phone's location and came to a deadly shooting scene.
That's the last thing I thought I was going to pull up on.
Investigators say Charlisa Reed was leaving a restaurant on South Main just before 3 a.m. when a gunman in a gray Dodge Charger opened fire on her car, killing her. That Charger was caught on a nearby surveillance camera, but 10 months later, no suspects have been identified. Wilkins says she believes more than one person was involved.
I'm ready for answers, I'm ready for arrests to be made, and I'm ready for justice.
Wilkins says her daughter was just getting started in her career, and she's constantly remembering her kindness and creativity.
We miss her tremendously.
She says this senseless crime has left a hole in her heart, and the lack of progress in the case has made her angry. She says her daughter lost her life simply for trying to enjoy herself with a friend in downtown Memphis.
We have the right to enjoy ourselves, but it's being ripped away from us due to these kids that are just terrorizing the city of Memphis, and it feels like nothing is being done.
Finding those responsible won't bring her daughter back, but Wilkins is hopeful it'll make sure they can never do this to someone else.
We need help. We need help to find out who did this to my daughter, why they did this to my daughter, and to make sure it doesn't happen to another family.
Wilkins says putting up that money felt like the last option she had to help close this case. If you know anything about that killing, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers at 901-528-CASH. Your anonymous tip could earn you $10,000 and help bring that family some closure. Daryl.
Fox 13's Jack Bilyeu live in downtown Memphis. Jack, thank you for the
starts now.
An attempted carjacking outside of a daycare was stopped this afternoon. Investigators say one of the suspects held a daycare employee at gunpoint. Fox 13's Jack Bilyeu joins us live from the scene on Raleigh-LaGrange Road tonight. Jack, the staff is just thankful that none of the children inside of the daycare were harmed.
Well, Darcy, the daycare's owner tells me that it was nap time when all this went down, and there were around 60 children inside. She says tonight she and her staff are seriously shaken up, but they're thankful this situation didn't escalate to violence and put those kids at even greater risk.
Anything, everything is up to grab for these people who out here to doing these things.
The latest victim of the city of Memphis's rising crime rates, a daycare. The owner says this all happened at around 12:30 while an employee was eating lunch in her car.
Doing what she's supposed to be doing, what she wants to do on her lunchtime, and for him to put a gun to her is very upsetting.
Much of the incident was caught on camera. In the video, you can see the suspects pull up to the daycare in two cars, a white Audi SUV and a black Nissan Maxima. The Audi parks next to a Camaro. The Nissan parks next to a white SUV with that employee sitting inside. That's when MPD says men got out of the Audi and started trying to steal the Camaro. And a suspect got out of the Nissan and held that employee at gunpoint. She spoke to Fox 13 anonymously out of fear for her safety.
My window was down and he put a gun in my window and said, "Do not move." I'm shaken up to the point I don't know what to do. I'm scared. I don't know.
MPD says another employee saw what was happening and ran out into the parking lot and yelled at the suspects. That's when they got back in their cars and left. Security footage shows other employees rush outside once the would-be car thieves were gone. This has the owner shocked at how brazen thieves are becoming and questioning whether anyone in this city is safe, given even a daycare isn't.
A daycare center, because you know we open. You see all of these cars, you know we open. It's I'm here to let you know, you need to step down. This city of Memphis has it's just gone.
She says she's speaking out because she wants other daycares around Memphis to know that even the places people take their children aren't sacred, and they need to have their guards up.
Nothing is getting better. Of course, it's getting worse. And I see things continue to get worse as the day go on.
Well, the daycare owner says she believes there were 6 suspects involved. MPD is still looking for those suspects tonight. Again, they were driving a dark Nissan Maxima and a white Audi SUV. If you know anything about this case, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers at 901-528-CASH. Darcy?
Jack, her pain and frustration was so evident on that surveillance video. It's just a lot. That is Fox 13's Jack Bilyeu reporting live tonight. Thank you so much, Jack. We're only 2 months into the year, and we have already seen hundreds of carjackings in Memphis. In fact, according to the Memphis Data Hub, Memphis police have already responded to more than 1,200 carjackings this year. For comparison, we saw more than 15,000 carjackings last year. That averages out to around 1,300 carjackings a month.
You catch these people, keep them in jail. Like, don't give them no low bond, because all they're gonna do is do it again.
That Uber driver says she's lucky to be alive tonight after, she says, 2 riders carjacked her at gunpoint. Police are looking for the young people and the Uber driver's car. Let's go to Fox 13's Daniel Wilkerson live. Daniel, that Uber driver told you she's also an educator with MSCS, and this incident has really put her in a bad position.
I tell you, your heart just goes out to her. DG, good evening to you. Good evening to you at home. Like a lot of people, she uses Uber to subsidize her income, but she says without a vehicle, she can't get to either job.
LaShadra Cox is a hard worker.
My main job, I'm an educator for Memphis Shelby County Schools.
And so to make ends meet, she took on a second job.
I did Uber to make extra money as an educator because, you know, I don't make a lot of money.
Sunday, just after 2 a.m., Cox says she went to Parkchester and Ashwood in Parkway Village.
I picked up a Uber request for a gentleman named John.
There, she says she picked up a young man and woman.
The young man was quiet the entire ride, but the young girl was on the phone with somebody.
She says the woman was on the phone with someone who was looking to buy a car. Strangely, she says the woman then asked her how she liked her vehicle and whether it came with a tracking device.
I told her Apple AirTag, even though I really didn't have tracking on it.
Cox thought that to be a strange question, and as they were coming to their destination here near Boeing-Shower and Danbury in Whitehaven, things would turn even more strange.
He opened his door and leaned up and brandished a gun at me.
She says she tried to grab her phone and keys, but the man told her to leave them.
I was like, okay, just please don't shoot me. Like, just let me go.
Cox was able to get out of the car.
And I started knocking on the first door, but they wouldn't, come to the door.
She tried 2 more doors with no luck, but then saw a man.
But it was actually the neighbor across the street coming home via Uber himself. And I was able to get up and run to him and flag him down. And he was such a sweet person to stop and help me and assist me and call the police for me.
Uber said in a statement to Fox 13 News, "What this driver endured is absolutely terrifying. We're relieved she made it to safety and have spoken with her. The rider account was banned as soon as this was reported to us, and we are supporting law enforcement in their investigation." Meanwhile, happy to be alive, Cox has this message for the district attorney and the courts.
Keep them. If you catch these people, keep them in jail. Like, don't give them no low bond because all they're going to do is do it again. Like, no. They need to have some accountability.
Back out live, as I said, your heart just goes out for her. Here she is, a MSCS educator. She's trying to do Uber to subsidize her income. She says money has been so tight lately that she let her insurance lapse, and so she's stuck without a vehicle. If Memphis police don't find it, she'll just be out of a vehicle. She has set up a GoFundMe page. Just go to our website, fox13memphis.com, to find out a way you can help her. DG.
Fox 13's Daniel Wilkerson live at Tillman Station. Thank you, Daniel.
This devastated a whole entire family tonight.
Field Lark Drive, Warrington Road, and Howard Drive were all stops on Mavis Christian Jr.'s shooting spree Saturday night. Field Lark Drive is where a woman and 2 teen girls were shot. Now the woman and 13-year-old girl died on the scene. The 15-year-old girl is still in critical condition at Regional 1. Nearly 13 miles away is where Christian Jr. shot and killed a woman on Warrington Road. At the time, police were not sure if the two were connected.
Are you all investigating any of these shootings as connections or
no?
But through further investigations, they discovered that Christian Jr. was the shooter at those 2 shootings, and the third just 11 miles away on Howard Drive, where a woman was shot and killed. A manhunt with local, state, and federal agencies began. Court records show in February 2018, police were called to an incident at the same home on Howard Drive, where he was charged with multiple charges, including aggravated assault and domestic assault bodily harm.
Each case is different, but being able for that person to be able to protect themselves is not always easy.
Documents explain that his estranged wife told police Christian Jr. punched her 3 times in the face, causing her to lose consciousness after an argument about him leaving the home on Howard Drive in 2018. Police said the shootings Saturday night were a result of domestic violence.
We see a lot of domestic violence, but even in what we actually see, it's 9 times out of 10 is not the correct count because there are so many unreported cases.
Organizations like the YWCA are seeing an increase in women looking for safe spaces to get out of domestic violence situations. Data from the Memphis Crime Commission shows a 0.8% increase in domestic violence incidents.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.